Refresh yourselves. Refresh yourselves.
Hi. How's everyone doing? I have 2 sippies already. Oh my gosh. And from Keegan, thank you.
Refresh yourselves.
And of course, they keep coming. Hello. How are we doing today? I have my red flowery cup today. I thought that was the fun one to use for this stream today. And yeah, hi. Today we are doing a super chill kind of just productive stream. I'm going to be working on writing some stuff. I'm going to be doing some CSS shenanigans, just kind of working on this little homepage for, and you see this little badge right up here. I'm working on stuff for my chapter 7 tomes, which I have recently become the leader of on WorldAnvil, so that's very exciting. We had a whole stream on Sunday talking about what chapters are and also what our individual chapters are. And yeah, so 7 tomes is a fantasy chapter on WorldAnvil, and so what that means is we're basically like a little club, like a little smaller community space within the WorldAnvil community. And our goal as our specific chapter is to talk about fantasy, share our works with each other, and hopefully in the future we can get to collaborate on some works and just keep that spirit alive of writing and getting stuff done. And so, yeah, I'm excited to be leading that charge. Already, my chapter has been chatting a lot more in the past, 3 days than it has in, the past 2 years, and so that's really awesome. And yeah, I'm so excited that this, chapter renaissance is happening on WorldAnvil, and that I get to be part of the people leading that charge. And yeah, so that is what we are doing today, or, what we're working with today. And I will show you guys kind of what I've been working on thus far. And that includes, if we can jump on over to my little stuff screen. Yeah, so here we are on the homepage of the 7 tomes. I've been playing around with this idea of 7 tomes, so maybe this header image right here is gonna look like, 2 tomes stacked on top of each other. And the titles are, of course, the titles of the books. I don't know, I thought it was just really fun. And yeah, so we have the 7 tomes, Lore Keepers of Fantastical Realms. I'm debating on whether or not I want to keep this little tag here. It's fantasy-oriented chapter led by me. I don't know if we need that little tag up there. We'll figure it out. But so, this homepage is going to be home to kind of this big project that I'm going to be leading my peoples on. And so, of course, because we are the 7 tomes, we have this one's not part of the count, but we have 7 different tomes that are 7 different categories that we are going to sort individual works into. And what we're going to end up with is basically an encyclopedia of our, as members, favorite individual works that we've done. And maybe in the future, we will also include people from outside of the chapter, members of the community. People can maybe submit things. We can kind of be curators of this space, essentially, as we become kind of lore masters of WorldAnvil's fantasy side. And maybe, while we're also doing all of that, we can collaborate on adding entries that we've just made up, that we've invented and worked on together. And so I'm very excited for that. Of course, these are all the same image right now because these are my tome of placeholders. I'm a huge fan of this placeholder image that I've made. Because all of these categories are tome of blank. And so, because I don't have an image for them yet, we just have the tome of placeholders. But yeah, so I wanted these 7 different categories to be broad enough that we can fit basically every kind of article that you would expect from a fantasy setting in this project. You know, so we have, of course, the Tome of Magic, because really, what is the fantasy genre without some magic? That's pretty much like the biggest staple I think of when I consider like a magical, not a magical, fantasy world. And then following that, we have the Tome of Divinity. Because I mean, how many people do we know on WorldAnvil who have created sprawling pantheons of gods? That certainly does not include me. Of course not. Why would you say that? And so these two are pretty cut and dry. You know, you got the magic in a fantasy world, makes sense. You got all the gods in a fantasy world, also makes sense. And so here we move on to the Tome of Plains, which is, for me, I imagine that would include like any places. So whether it's just a literal like continent in your world, or if it's a completely different like world, a different realm, you know, like any of those kinds of things, like these would be like locations, settings, like any place that you can like you just flip open this book basically and you land on a page and like this is a place you can go to. That would be the Tome of Plains. That would be what would be included in there. The Tome of Savants, and a savant, what that is any like intelligent species, so essentially people. But of course, in fantasy, we have more than just humans. We have all kinds of different species of human. And so they're all like these intelligent species that live and coexist in different worlds. And so this tome would categorize basically everything having to do with the people themselves. So the different types of people, like, you know, your fantasy races, essentially, their cultures, what they do, what they make. Although, when it comes to what they make, we have the Tome of Innovation. So that would be like technology, the things that people build. And part of me is wondering, like, should we roll technology into people and come up with another category? I don't know. It's kind of like a big toss-up in my brain. Because I'm also wondering, like I was thinking about this earlier, what kind of category would we put things like raw materials in, like reagents and such like that? Because I feel like that might go into like the technology book, maybe. I don't know, because we do have the Tome of Biota, and biota is like the catch-all phrase for flora, fauna, and fungi, so basically all the living things in a world. So this is where you would toss your creatures and your monsters and your like wildlife, the plants and the crazy things that live out in your world. And then of course we have the Tome of Adventure. And so what the Tome of Adventure would be the stories, the happenings, maybe your timelines and great conflicts, and like the big happenings, plot points of different worlds. They can go into the Tome of Adventure. Because of course, also in a fantasy world, adventure is one of the first things I also think of. Like, don't you just want to go out and adventure? But yeah, so like this project is like on such a big scale that like even I can't really fully wrap my brain around it right now. Because there's just so many different ways that it can go. But we're figuring that out as we go, essentially. And yeah, so we have our little list of all these categories. And so what I want to work on today, for the most part, is the this first category, which is going to be the chapter index. Katoipoi, hello, how are you? Today, Katoipoi, I'm working on chapter stuff. So I'm going to be working on my little chapter homepage that I've been slowly putting together. And so our goal today, of course, is to do this chapter index. And what I want to put in here is, like, I want to get pages for each member. I would like to, like, kind of make a list of the actual, like, official rules and, like, descriptions of what the chapter is. Basically just, like, put all this information in here so that it's available to anybody who wants to, you know, come see it and get to know what we're about. And along the way, I'm going to be, like, touching up different things, like figuring out my CSS. Like, I see this bright red button here and like all these things in the wrong colors. I'm like, okay, I need to change these things bit by bit, because of course I just started on this really. The only thing I've really touched as far as CSS goes, of course, is like the backgrounds and all that kind of stuff. I fiddled with these book covers a bit, and I changed the fonts. So yeah, we have a long way to go because there are many different things to change here. But yeah, how do you feel about this spiffy new badge that we have? I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's really cool. I tried not to deviate very much from the original badge because, of course, one already existed, but I kind of wanted to bring us into like the modern day and just kind of spice it up, make it fresh and new, and kind of simplify it a little bit too. There's kind of a lot going on the other one, though it still looked very nice. But yeah, I wanted to get the little banner on kind of like a parchment little banner, because I just thought that really fits the theme that I'm trying to go for with us, where we're like lore keepers and like scribes essentially. And so yeah, we have like this written title here. Very booky, yeah. And yeah, so we have the 7 tomes, a chapter for fantastical worlds and people. I'm naming that our little tagline. Yeah, so let's see. Cause I'm trying to think of just how I want to run today's show.
Refresh yourselves.
Thank you. Sippy time. Yeah, so you got me on the sips like after my big spiel. So thank you for that. I kind of required it. But yeah, so I'll keep up this little screen. Like most of this page is cut off on this other screen, but that's fine. We're only going to look at it like every now and then. But yeah, I want to find a good layout for member pages. So I'm gonna kind of work on my own individual member page for a little bit just to get a feel for what I want them to look like. Kind of, you know, when we get around to actually listing everybody. And I'm gonna kind of use mine as like a template for the ones that I'm going to add. So I have this really bare bones, like, you know, Strixline, that's me. And so I will figure out how I want to format this. How do I want to display the information of members? Naturally, I want to display what their worlds are. Stray Marble, hello, how are you? Waving, waving. Yeah, so we are going to get this chapter page up and running, hopefully soon. Doubtful that it's gonna happen during this stream, but you know, we'll make some progress and that's what matters. And, you know, part of me is kind of wondering if I should do this on this screen or if I should do it on like this other one. We'll just scoot this in a little. Just so well, you know, if I zoom out on this page, everything's actually totally fine. Toy also sleepy. I'm still not recovered from getting up early on Saturday. Oh, it's okay. Me neither. Getting up at 8 a.m., like, it was worth it to play D&D. But my body was not prepared to be awake at like 7 a.m. on a Saturday. Like, not even a little bit. But yeah, so oh goodness. So I need to remember, you know, if I look at my main world, I can probably tell myself a lot better how I typically target this little back to world button, because right now that's what I'm looking at and I'm like, I don't like the way that looks. I don't like that it's just like that default red and I need to change it immediately. So let's see. let's see. Okay, so where do I want to put you? I'm trying to decide on the fly how I want to organize all of my CSS goodies. So I definitely, oh, when it was worth it, when you get a chance, I have a call out to Knifex at the end of that Tamba no Kano article I put out today. Oh heck yeah. That'll be fun. Yeah, I definitely do intend to go check it out. I just got back from work like very recently, so I haven't had time to look at pretty much anything before I was like, okay, let's go stream. Let's go do stuff. Oh gosh, so where am I? What am I looking at right now? Right, so we're gonna copy this. Just so I know what I'm working with here. Streaming is good. I have a few minutes before I go hang out with spouse. Heck yeah. Hanging out with spouse is the best time. You know what? I feel like I should just be doing this on this page over here, so we'll just open this over here and we shall get to work. Okay. So now I'm debating which color I want this to be. That is a good question. Let's go grab some CSS colors. Well, actually, no, I don't want that. I want hex code colors. And we can just figure out what we want to do from there. You know what? It's just, yeah, I just happened to have Photoshop open in the background, don't mind me. I'm wondering what colors actually I can grab off of the badge, maybe? That's not the... Go back to the homepage on this page. Because we could, I'm wondering if there's a way to make it like... to make it look kind of like the parchment on the 7 tomes background of the banner. And so let's see what color this is. That one. Okay. Alright, show me... Where am I? This window. So we just throw that in there. A little hashtag. Ooh. Text color. Or is it just color? I don't know. I guess we'll find out in like a second. Alright, where is the color that I seek? Not that one, this one. Alright, now do I want... Yeah, so we have this in mostly the desired mostly the desired style, I will say. Wish I could like zoom in on that for you, where I was just staring at it right there. I refresh this page. Oh wait, if I zoom in on it in one window, it's gonna zoom in on it in every window, so I actually can't do what I was about to do. My bad. But yeah, so we've gone from stinky red button to still a little bit out of perfect tan button. But that's fine, it's a work in progress. And so now we're gonna see what we want it to look like when it's hovered. I'm gonna say that we probably want it to be a little bit more like this crunchy color. Like where everything's a little yellowed, a little quiffy. So if we hover it, we can see it changes colors, yay! Easy peasy. Do I want, See, working with this back to world button is always so... I often get more frustrated with it than anything because I just often don't like that it's there, if that makes sense. But I also don't want to get rid of it because I want to have that button, if that makes sense. Visually, I just don't like it that it's there. Of course, I could just like position it differently. Like, I don't know, position, absolute. Let's see. I'm gonna look up some... Gonna look up some CSS magic on W3 schools real quick. Let's see. Position, absolute. Let's see if we can... Okay, yeah, so we're just gonna move this thing around real quick. So I don't... So I kind of want to get rid of the overhang. Ooh, okay, there we go. No overhang. Cool. Is top now the one that I want? Okay. I do 10. Okay, no, that goes down. -10, 15. Okay, if I put it on -15 from the top, it sits like on this line, and so it's like we can see like the before and after, like over on this screen. We see it like it's like hanging off the side on the left. And here it's like flush with the edge of the page, which makes my like little monkey brain happy. And then it's and then it's sitting like right on the middle on this seam here between the header image and the page content. And I think I like that. All right. And so I'm gonna see if there's one more thing I can do, because I want to kind of see if I can get like the inner
Refresh
shadow
yourselves.
kind of effect. Why, thank you for the sippy. I want to see if there's a way I can get this like inner shadow kind of effect, to make it look like the like the browning edges of parchment. Because I think that'd be really nice. I just need to see. Because I know we can do drop shadows. That's like really, really simple. I just want to know if we can shadow like the inside of a box. Tell me, why am I being shrimped? I'm so focused. I'm trying to look at my screen. I'm getting real close to it. It's all right. It's all good. That's what that does. Yeah, you bonk me and make sure I stretch and sit like a normal person. Oh. I think I have found that which I seek. Maybe. Box shadow inset. Well, I guess we'll see. I'll see if I can if I copy this in there and it just works. That'd be really great. Oh hell yeah, it works. The internet is grand. Anything that you could ever seek to do with CSS is just out there on the internet waiting for you to find it. So yeah. I just need to figure out now what I want to do with the hover effect, because it doesn't really look that good when it goes from like this to just like flat brown, but I don't. Do I just like darken the edges of the darker one even further? Or do I make it like a different color? I don't know. Let's see. If we grab, I'm just gonna grab this color again. Put it in here. Or maybe I'll try grabbing one of these colors up here. Yeah. I don't know, we'll see if we like this, because I just don't like the, like, I don't like that brown color, like that darker one, kind of being the way that it is. Let's see, if we do a little, oh, I need a little guy there. If we do this the same way, but then we just change the color on the inside, or on the outsides, I mean, in the shadow. Go back here. Change this color to that. Now the inset color, still not ideal. What if we go for this color instead on the inside? This is the CSS adventure, my friends. It's just going back and forth on colors until you find something you decide you like. And you know what? For me, sometimes that just takes a really long time. Wait, hold on. I replaced the wrong value. My bad. I should have replaced the background. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, I thought I copy pasted something like completely wrong in here. And so I was just kind of like backtracking and undoing a whole bunch of things and just coming right back through. It's a little concerning, a little spooky, not gonna lie to you. That's fine. Let's see, I kinda... Do I want a little drop shadow? Little box shadow? We'll see. We'll see if we like it. We're gonna have so many different lines on this one little... Oh gosh, that's large. I want 0 on that side. Or I don't know. I don't know, hold on. 2, 3, 4. What do you control? This distance? Okay, okay. 5 that way, 5 that way. Or you know what, nah. 3 that way. 3 that way. And we don't want it to be this color. We're not about that life. Why is it white? It's a shadow. Let's see. Yeah, I do like that there is a shadow there. I kind of don't like how pronounced it is. I make it 1 pixel. Make it a little more blurred out. Go for 10 px. Sure, but it seems like I've lost my inner shadow in adding... Oh, do I have to choose one? Aha! I'm a genius. I just add it to the other one. Cool. Because I didn't realize that both of these have the tag of box shadow. And so because I tried to put in 2 different types of box shadow, or like 2 separate lines of that same type, it canceled the other one out. But no, it turns out if you just add a comma after the values for the first one, you can just add in the values for the second one, and then they both happen. We learn a lot of cool things while doing CSS. So yeah, we can already see the difference if you compare the 2 different screens, which is great. I like seeing a little bit of progress. That's why I kind of want to leave the screen on the left unrefreshed as long as possible. Because at least then I have like a quantifiable view of what things are looking like. Kind of like, you know, start to finish. Let's see, just gonna check on a couple things. Sending a couple messages, don't mind me. But yeah, I'm trying to have like a nice, cool, chill day. Cause like, I had one of those work days where I just kind of show up and I'm like, "Ooh, I don't want to be a human today." And so that's kind of the energy that we're trying to fight off during this stream today. So I'm hoping that as long as I see some good progress on what I'm trying to do today, I will keep myself a little chipper attitude and have a good day. Because of course, once I get off the stream, I have more work that I need to do. But yeah, this little chapter page project is like, it's gonna be my like happy little passion project for the next foreseeable future, probably. So I don't mind working on this before I get into the nitty gritty of stuff that I actually really need to start working on. We just need to keep on going. Good to have little projects. Heck yeah. Yeah, it's good to have stuff that you actually want to work on. Because that gets difficult. It's a little dicey sometimes. Sometimes you just you know you need to do stuff and then you just kind of don't do it. Yeah, I have to run off for spouse time. Enjoy the rest of stream. Thank you, and thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will absolutely go check out your article, probably right after stream. At some point today. Because I must know about this call out. Let's see. I'm trying to decide, like, whether or not I like this shadow. I'm so torn. Like, it feels a little too, like, dark. Like, it's too much of a shadow, almost. But I don't know if that's true. Of course, I could lighten the color. And I think I will. I think I'll just lighten up the color that it's actually using. And so is that... What color actually do we have here? I will just try... I'll try this color. And we'll see if that's too similar. Ooh, yeah, I don't like that color at all. How about this one? How's that one even worse? Hold up. That one's okay. I think I just need it to be a little bit not quite as dark. Okay, so let us grab that color and see if we like it more. You know, I think we're on... Because now see, the struggle with what I've just tried to do here, and you can't really tell on the stream screen because it's like really small, of course. Because the header that it's sitting partially on is so much darker than the like article content right underneath, this dark shadow that I have on the lighter article is now like kind of starting to highlight on the it's now starting to highlight on the header. And so now I have to decide, do I just want to stick with a much darker color than I think it needs? Life is hard. Sometimes you just have to make difficult decisions. I don't know, like it's pretty cute. Let's see. I would like to copy this same drop shadow over here so that when I hover it, it maintains like the same thing. Indeed. I'm quite unsatisfied with the colors I've chosen for the hovered version. So I don't know. You know what? Maybe if I just make it barely different, like just enough that you see there is a difference when you hover over it, but not really enough. Alright, so we get the inset. I think I want the inset color to just be a little darker in general. So we're gonna try that real quick. Try that on for size. You know, I can't really tell from the preview if that did anything. Yeah, it made it a little darker. It's so hard to tell though. Which I mean, I guess is fine. Like I can see the difference. I think there just needs to be a little bit more difference. So let's just grab that, make it a little darker still. Bang. Yeah, it's barely perceptible as a difference, but it's alright. We'll take this slightly darker version as well, put it into the hovered version. Yeah, so you hover, it turns a little bit darker, but it's not too distracting. Like it's not so obvious of a change, but there is a change, and I think that's perfect. Like you can tell, obviously this is a link. This is a button that I can click on because it looks different when I hover over it. I think it'd be cool to kind of like make my own buttons, if that makes sense. Like style them differently. But we'll have to figure that out later, because that's a little too much for my scope right now. In fact, like I shouldn't even be working on this right now. It caught my eye, and I wanted the icky red button to go away. Drunken Panda, I'm off to D&D. Well, you have fun at D&D. I'm very excited for you, actually. I wish to play more D&D in my life. Enjoy the rest of stream. Why, thank you. You enjoy your game time. Thank you for stopping by. Always wonderful to see you. Obi Shaker, hello. Hello, how are we doing? We're working on chapter stuff. I'm working on setting up this homepage. This is a task that will take me probably a very long time. There's a lot of logistical stuff happening for me right now, and I have so much to like catch up on. And this is just like one of many tasks that I'm trying to get myself through. And so yeah, I thought making it today's little stream topic would be kind of like a good way to just push myself to make some progress on it. And yeah, it's kind of working. Because like I went into the stream and I was like, okay, today's goal is to make a template for what I want member pages to look like. And then immediately I was like, I see a button that I don't like the styling of, I'm going to change it. It's just like me playing Graveyard Keeper. I go out and I'm like, okay, I have this goal. But oh, I see 6 different shiny things that I can go look at instead. Even if it means I finish my goal like 2 hours later than I said I would said I would have said yeah. Then I said I would do so. Sorry, words just didn't want to happen there for a second. Find this hilarious and very relatable. Mostly relatable, yeah. Yeah, so there's just like always a lot of stuff going on in my brain and in my life. So yeah. So we're just working through all these different things that we would like to get done. And now, of course, what am I doing here? What am I looking for? Or which element am I looking to target right now? So I think the answer is these buttons. I can find... We're gonna see some familiar buttons here in a second. You see, I just copy pasted the buttons from my main world in here, just so I could get the correct CSS codes for buttons in general. But I'm gonna like delete all the stuff from in them. Yeah, these buttons certainly do not fit here. Let's see. I mean, I kind of imagine I want them to look... I probably want them to look a little similar. Change the font of these. What size font? 16? I mean, 16 looks pretty good. I'll make it 14. I figure no one really needs to stare at those too much. If we do the same backgrounds, like basically the same everything for these as we did for the other one, that'd be great. Da, da, da. Did I change the font color for these? Let's see. Let me just pull the colors that I have for header 1. Because that is the color I would like to have in this. Cool. I don't want these two borders. I don't really need the letter spacing to be a thing. Pretty good. I think I might increase the font though, because that made them difficult to read. Ooh, I don't like that hover. Okay. I do like the rounded edges though. That feels really cute, and I think I might try doing that for the above as well. I'm gonna get rid of the box shadow too. And so yeah, we have these little buttons here. Now if I copy the same box shadow, bang, now they look exactly the same. Yeah, I really like how these buttons look a lot more than just how this one looks, so I'm gonna see if I can try to replicate the border style that they have here. Da 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 da. Da dum. Hello, how do I do borders? Internet. Alright, show me how to do borders, please. Owie. See, border. Oh, okay. I don't see it in the guide, but I think I do remember I need to do like solid 2px. Yeah, there you go. Now a border exists here. Let's see. Border radius. Okay, cool. So I don't want it to be that round, but I do want it to be a little bit rounded. Ah, why do we bonk? We're not sitting up straight enough for the rabble.
Refresh yourselves.
Ah, and the sippies. Why, thank you. Yes, I do need the sippies in order to stay hydrated, because I do this thing where I just forget to drink liquids on a regular basis, and I need to stop doing that, but then, you know, I just kind of don't. Let's see, what color do I want the borders to be? Oh, did I do that on the right one? No. My bad. Am I up here? Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's how I target that. I want that color to be different. I do not want it to be this bright red that I currently have it set to. But testing things with a obnoxious bright red makes it a lot easier to see that you've actually successfully targeted something. So that is my advice to anybody who's out there trying to do CSS shenanigans. Fastest way to see if you've successfully targeted the thing that you want is to just make it bright ass red. Because then you're not gonna miss it. You're not gonna be squinting at the thing like, did I change it? Did it work? No, you're gonna know, like, instantly. So, just for consistency's sake, we're going to change these buttons also to the exact same border style. Because I think they're the same. I just want to make sure. So yeah, okay, we look pretty good here. Oh, and I need to change. Oh, good to know that I do not plan to go into CSS. Still, good to know. Well, listen, CSS, like, this kind of, like, creeps up on you. You go your whole life thinking, oh yeah, I don't need to worry about CSS too much, and then you're like, ooh, but I want to make this one thing on my world look different. Like, this one little thing. And then that turns into, I want to make this other thing look similar to this thing. And before you know it, you're editing your entire theme to look differently because you just, because that one thing ticked you off, and yeah, so don't ask me how I know. let's see this. Oh, perfect. Okay, I like the way that these look. And now, because I straight up don't remember how to do this one. How do I do the metadata button? I know that's a thing. It is also very possible that I put it into my Otherworld CSS without labeling it, which is a very silly haha thing for me to do. But of course, why wouldn't I, right? Oh gosh, and all the social media icons for like myself show up on this world too, which I kind of don't want. You can hide them. I can just hide them. That's fine. It's definitely something to get rid of before I start like actively publishing anything here for anyone to see. Yeah, because actually, again, I don't want to refresh this page yet. It does. Okay, so my social media stuff does not show up on the world homepage, which is good. But on the articles, it does show up, so I can just hide those. I can get rid of those. At least I'm pretty sure. I'm wondering if that's just something I can go do in like the tools, social, display social media sharing widgets, turn off. I don't think that's the thing I was looking for, but let's just save all these changes, hit the button like 6 times just to make sure. No, that didn't do what I wanted it to do. That's fine though, we can just hide it with CSS. The magical powers of CSS, of course. But yeah, I don't know if that's we'll just scroll through. Placement, no custom content, no SEO, date and time, display. Display social features. That's not what I'm looking for. There's a lot of options here. Oh, but we are going to name the follower names. And so the little name I have for the people in my chapter is Tomies. So we just pop in there like, what up, Tomies? Because you're my homies, and we're in 7 tomes. It's so cute. I can't take credit for creating it. That was definitely Adamal who coined the term, but I have since stolen it and embraced it. And so that is now what we refer to each other as. Okay. Yeah, okay. So social media images, or not the images, like these little buttons here. I just need to hide them manually, because that's fine. Alright, great and powerful internet. Show me... Or not great and powerful internet, just... Great and powerful what I am doing right now. Social media... Let's see. User CSS. Article social media. Let's see if it's as simple as I hope it is. Display, none. Woo! We got rid of it! Sick. Okay. Oh wait, hold on. Oh. Sorry, I'm just comparing between my two screens to make sure that it actually did exactly what I needed to. Yeah, I think that's it. We'll just we'll like cut it and paste it to see that nothing else got changed. I'm gonna make this window bigger just so I can see it real quick. Yeah. Yeah, that did exactly what I wanted it to do. Heck yeah. And you know what? We're gonna save it on this page and then we're gonna refresh. Okay. Yeah, because usually if you do something really silly with your CSS, you'll like refresh and it'll just, you know, not be like that anymore. And so, yeah, if you find if you do something silly, it's just not gonna stick. But while you're editing it, sometimes it'll look like it works. And that's how it gets you. That is how they make you think that you're safe. Whoops, I didn't want to open it on that window. I wanted it to open here. Okay, and so I just want to see if this does any of what I think it does. No. I need to find the code in my world that affects the metadata button. But I just don't know where I shoved it because I did not label it, and the code for it does not include the word metadata. Yee-hoo. I don't know. Is it gonna be under nav link? No. Oh. Okay, I have a buttons section. Nav strip image info. I don't know what that means. I have all this CSS in my main world that is like, I don't know what it means, but clearly it was important before. Ta-da. Yeah, I'm just desperately searching my world for these, but you know... Is it user CSS nav strip? No. All right. Hum-de-dum. Aha, is it you? I should hope so. Okay. We've identified it. Now let's just get rid of all this information, because none of that's right. And instead, we copy in all the stuff from there. And oh, look at that metadata button. Isn't it so cute and on theme? And let's see, let's get this Ba-bum-bum. Add the little hover tag. And now for the hovered one, we do basically the exact same thing that we've been doing for all the other buttons. And bam. Now it's the same as all these other buttons, and I can feel happy. But yeah, so I started this page from like the default of default themes on WorldAnvil. And so like genuinely this is just me piece by piece being like, okay, I need to change this element, I need to change this thing, and eventually we're going to reach a point where I'm like, yay, we like how everything looks. But then of course I'm gonna get to this point where I'm like, oh, okay, let's use a new like type of block. Like if I where are we? No, not view article, come on. If I go into edit this article and I just type in I just add this little button here, not button. If I refresh this, now we have this box here. Now this kind of box, this little BB code container here, the allowed container, I use it like religiously in my articles. And so it's gonna be something that I need to make fit the theme, as with all of the things. And so that's gonna be one of our little tasks. Maybe not immediately, and this is gonna break some stuff for like half a second, but button. / just labeling my notes so that I know what's going on. Because it is such an endeavor to go through CSS and you know, like if you didn't label anything, just remembering what each individual thing does, it gets a little dicey. Let's say buttons. That's our little buttons section. Yeah, we'll just keep that as it is. We have book covers, table of contents. Hiding a link description. Oh yes, okay, I know what that is. Text styles. Like yeah, what are you down there? Show me what this is. That's an H2. So we need to do user CSS H2, comma, user CSS extended H2, and bam. So now that little bit of text down there now also is what we want it to be. And what are you? Are you the font that I want you to be? Yes, you are. Okay, good. But you're not the color that I want you to be. What color do I want my links to be? That is the next great question. Because we have kind of like this purple theme going on, but I don't know how confident I am in making my links purple. We could certainly try it. Like we could go so far as to like grab this color here, and we can see how much we like. Why am I on the wrong window? Text styles. dot user CSS A color pound symbol this. Make it a little more saturated. And a little bit more purple. Oh, whoops. I wasn't supposed to close that. I was supposed to grab the little tag off of it. Bam, bam. I think that still could be a little bit lighter. This is... I'm kind of... Yeah, I'll leave it that slightly darker one. And that is okay for me. And now the real question is, what do I want? Oh, what do I want the sidebar to look like? Because I don't know, like I kind of like the way the sidebar looks already. Just like the style of it. It's very simple. It doesn't clash with the theme really. Oh, let's see. If we just go user CSS allowed, I think that's all the code we need for it. Yeah, easiest way to tell. I set the background to red. Easy. Yeah, so that's all the code I need for that. But again, we return to this question of, well, what do I actually want this to look like? Because I want the styling of the allowed box to be rather simple. Like pretty quiet. In fact, I almost want to say that it should look kind of like what the sidebar looks like right now. But I need to know what styling the sidebar has. Oh, sorry, it's my neck crunching like that. How do I target you, sir? Guess we'll see. No. I go to my, well, I'll go to my dashboard. If I make, what article did I want to like do first? I'll do species. And I can't really view it, it doesn't have a name. Hold on. So, I'll just name it test species for ease of living. Let's see if the site works. Let might have tried to do something silly mode right now. Why do not load? Please tell me. Did I break it? Hello? I go from here? Okay. Yeah, okay, cool. So let's try to grab it from here, because this might be different, question mark? No, it's the same thing. Ba-da-bum bum bum. Just need to know what styling you already have. Let's see. Yeah, cause see if I grab just gonna grab this sidebar from my world real quick, just so I know at least the code that I need to use for it. I'll copy and paste this note so I can label it accordingly. Sidebar. Of course, I'm working on this thing over here. You won't get to see my typing away real quick because I'm looking at something on like this edge of the screen here. Okay, so that background color's... Whoops. Is that what I want it to be? We're basically just going to try to play this game of can we match what already exists? Let's see. Ta-da. 1.5? I think I do. Yeah, so if I do a little bit more than that, 4. I think 0.4 is a match then. Cool. And we want to get rid of, let's see, the borders. Okay. Perfect. So yeah, I'm just playing this game where I'm trying to match my allowed box to my sidebar so that I can just throw in these little boxes pretty much anywhere I need to. And they'll just look like that. It is to be decided if I would prefer that to be like its own container and I just use the allows for like a different thing, but at least I'll have the exact CSS code that I need to transfer that from the allowed box to anything else. So, let's change font family to, oh, what is the name of this font that I have been using? It's Prociono. Just want to make sure that that's the right font there. Color should be the same color as the other text. Sorry, I lost where I was trying to look for a second. Okay. So that's pretty good. I will probably end up making additional containers and container types. I like putting stuff into fancy containers. I might also just like not have the bandwidth for that right now, but we'll get there eventually. But part of me is wondering like, oh, maybe I want the allowed boxes to have kind of like a lighter text. I don't know. These are the hard decisions. Because I'm also thinking like, oh, what if I want these to be like little handwritten notes, and then I could go so far as to change the fonts to like a more handwritten one, and so these would be like little scribbled notes. But then I'm like, why would I not just make a like a more parchmenty kind of container? Kind of like what the links look like. If I make something that looks like that, then I could put a more handwritten thing in there. In fact, let's see, find containers. Da, 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 da. Let's see. Okay, I'm looking at my my main world's CSS to just kind of see how I did custom containers. And now I'm gonna have to go search. I don't know if I can search up like the BB code that I used in. I don't know if I can search articles by the BB code that I put in them. That'd be really cool and really interesting. Because now I'm interested in looking up where I might have used. Oh, do full search. Is it gonna work? It looks like it might have maybe worked. Can I edit this article and see? So there's allowed these containers. No. would it be in this article? No, right? Because that is just silly. Ah, okay. Container, box contain, box gray. Let's see if I can replicate that. Or not replicate it necessarily, but just see if I can retrofit that type of oh wait, hold on now. Test species is not where I want to be doing this. Okay, if we do this. Now if we do that, save all these changes, because I would be very upset if I refreshed and just got rid of all that. Oh, and actually, box contain, let's see. We're gonna say notebox, actually, is going to be the name of this container. I'll just refresh again. And so, bam, bam. Containers. Back to our little container section. We're gonna add another one. Yeah, it is illegal, you know, according to the coding side of things, to use the word container in WorldAnvil CSS, but they don't say anything about contain. So, little loophole. It's not really a loophole, it just, the code literally does not allow for the word container. But I want to know that this contains something, so I'm going to just say it is contain. Box contain. Bam. And we're going to copy paste this again. There we go, notebox, dot notebox. And we got background. And let's see if we can grab basically just the stuff from our buttons. We're not going to keep all of this the same. Yeah, so basically, oh, there's a little button here for visibility. I don't know what that's about. That's pretty cool. And so let's see, because So I don't necessarily want this to be like that. I don't want the text transform to be on. I do want I want the padding to be a lot more, so it does, so that the text isn't like in the complete corner of this box. What is this? Wait, what does that mean? Let's change the visibility of this section for everyone. Is that a thing? What? Hold on. Because I don't see anything, and I don't see that button over here where there's like a little. This is like in my main world where I have a container kind of like this, but I don't have a button that says change the visibility of this section. I don't even know what that is. I don't know where that's from. Huh. If I just sit here and make Minecraft villager sounds until I figure it out, will that like hasten the process of me understanding where that was coming from? Huh. Huh? I'm gonna toss this in here. I don't know, just refresh, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'll make those sounds with you. Thank you. Some support in this trying time. We've got quite the difference from this page to this one over here. Because this is like kind of the original that we started with. And so we have these like bright red buttons that don't fit the theme, and then, you know, all that stuff. And the social media icons that shouldn't be there. But here we are. Now with more on-theme containers and content. So we at least have that going for us. I'll need to change the little tooltips that are popping up right now, like when I hover over these links. But that doesn't have to happen now, because I know tooltips are a little, like, finicky. And, you know what? I don't want this to remain, like, as is. So I'm just gonna copy and paste this into, like, a little safe spot. Just so I can refresh this page and not keep it the way that it is. We're gonna inspect this little, like, button. Who are you? Just a visibility toggler, and why are you popping up, is my question. Like, hello? I've never seen that button pop up before. So I'm looking at it now like, huh? Because it seems pretty cool, like you click on it and this thing disappears. I don't know, man. Yeah, so I don't imagine anyone's really going to look at this. I don't really think anyone's gonna look at this page anytime soon. But I've just added this little note here to be like, hey, this page is in progress and it's gonna be a little template for later. Because what I want to do is I want to copy this. I can just open a little incognito window. and pop the article open over there. And so, like, here's a little incognito window. But if I hit this button, I want to see if that then... Hello? Where's the window that I just... Hello? Okay. So if I refresh this... Yeah, so that's just gone. Interesting. Why is that button there? Because that button's not on, like, any other... It's not on, like, any other container that I've ever made. Okay, so it's cool to know that that's a thing that exists. So I can just choose to turn on and off this container whenever I feel like. Fascinating. I will keep that in mind. But yeah, I mostly just wanted to make sure that it's not something that pops up, like, on the viewer's end. Because that would be very silly. But sure. It irks me because, like, I'm passing over it in the editing stage. And I'm like, I don't like that this button's there. Oh well. Let's see. Maybe we will do... We'll open this little tab and we'll go look at some of these. I'm trying to remember if there were any fonts in this folder that I thought were, like handwriting-y. Because this one certainly kind of looks that way. It's also very similar to, like, this font that I was using. Like, you even see, like, I was testing the tome of placeholders on this font right here. Let's remove all these selected fonts. Can I... Oh, switch to dark mode. Hell yeah. Okay. Because I feel like these two fonts are incredibly similar, but one is just a lot easier to read than the other one. Because you look at this one and, like, I'm looking at it on the screen, like, kind of small right now, and, like, these letters are just blending together. Because, like, they kind of are. They've got, like, the little script, like, swoosh, little cursive swoosh. And so the letters do connect with each other. But these letters are a lot more, like their own blocks, essentially, so they're a lot bolder. And that is why I chose that as, like, the header font for 7 tomes, because I was like, I like the style, it's very, like, calligraphic, but it's still, like, the letters stand on their own as individuals enough that it's not difficult to read. But it's got that theme to it still. But I'm thinking we could use this font for, like, these handwritten notes. And so they'd be, like, a fancy thing. And so they wouldn't be for, like, all the information that you're reading. We'll see, we'll come back to this one. Because I do kind of like the idea of having, like, a very similar font, but that's just, like, styled a little bit differently to say that, like, you know, the same people are writing this content, it's coming from basically the same hand, but this one's maybe a little bit more hastily drawn. You know, these letters are less, like, clear. But also, this font is just really pretty. So we could include this, like, strictly as, like, a handwritten note thing, but also, like, you kind of look at this, like, you look at this paragraph and, like, it's small. And it's just like, this is an absolute nightmare to read. So I don't necessarily want, you know, as a graphic designer who does quite like accessibility as a concept and tries to work with it as much as possible, I often have to fight between, like, oh, this font is so pretty, and oh, this font is nigh unreadable. Because, oh man, it's like, it's even worse in light mode. Because I'm trying to see how, like, a dark font would look against a lighter background, like it's still not good. um, when it's large, it's relatively readable, you know, like as long as you can read cursive, it's not that bad. Um, but yeah, it's very narrow. I feel like that just makes it more difficult to read just when all the words are clumped together when you have it in a paragraph. But it's so cute. Like look at the swoosh on this T. Like on the capital letters, like the leafy little swooshes. Ah, I want to use this font somewhere somehow. But I don't think that this project where like I want to have a lot of different eyes on it. I don't want to subject anyone to that. It's a little difficult to read. About Estonia. Uh, you know, this one's not terrible. Like for readability. It looks very cool. Yeah, I think we'll grab this font. If nothing else, we'll use it as a placeholder. Da da da. Because I just want to know. Stop it. Grab this. Go here. All right, so grab this. Let's just. Let's just put the font family in here ahead of time. What are you called? Estonia. Bam. That doesn't exist yet, obviously, so my CSS is gonna look at me like, hello? What are you doing here? And so anyone who is watching who does plan to do CSS and like custom fonts from Google Fonts, you need to get rid of the little apostrophes that are in the code naturally. So you'll see around like the font family name in here, like around the Estonia, there's little quotes. You need to get rid of those because if those are in your code anywhere, it will just like not work. So you see around the Estonia on this line, there's a little quotes. Apostrophes are bad, yeah. That's the word I was looking for, apostrophe. But then also in this line as well, on the format, this little WAF 2 also has apostrophes. So get them out of there. Get them out of there. I remember that today when I was trying to work with some of the fonts, because I did notice that my fonts weren't sticking. And so I had to really rack my brain for the reason why that would be. And then I remembered, oh yeah, the codes from Google Fonts just kind of have apostrophes in them, and that doesn't work. It's like that situation I was describing earlier where, like, you know, you'll think that your CSS is fine because it's updating as you're working on it, but then you refresh and it did not stick. And that was exactly what was happening, because like I'd be working on it. I'd set the style for like H1 and be like, okay, use this font. And then it's like, okay, we are using this font. You can see it on the screen. And then I'm like, okay, great. But then I refresh and it's like, we are no longer using this font. Get out of here. And we're like, okay. But I just had to remember that that was a thing that exists. So, oh, whoops. That's not where I want you to be. Not in the sidebar. Note box. Font family. No, not family. What am I doing? Font size. Because you can see, changing the font turned this into like the tiniest little segment of text I've ever seen. So font size is 24 enough? No. So this one's gonna have to be like large. I do 32, is that enough? I do 36, that's pretty readable. About 42 just to round it all off. 25 pixel padding. And so we're just gonna go back to editing this article. I have so many tabs open. Okay, we're just gonna grab this text. We're gonna put it into this box. It'll be essentially like our filler text. A little bit of lorem ipsum, if you will. Oh, that's atrocious. Ah. Alright, the line spacing is not good with this text. However, purely for the occasional handwritten snippet, I don't actually think that this is like a bad font to use. Again, we just need to figure out the line spacing. We need these lines to be a little further apart. So let's see. CSS line spacing. Line height. Okay. So let's remedy that. I think if we separate the lines a little bit, it'll be like infinitely more readable. So line height. What is line height normal? Oh, line height normal is... It's okay. I think it's a little too much, though. Why was the line height not normal? Oh well. What's 1.6? 0.5, 0.3, I mean, 0.2, 0.1, 1 point. Gosh, what value is it that it's like that close together? Okay, so it's not 0.2. 0.5? No. 0.6. 0.55? Very specific. No, it's like 0.52? .53. Okay, so it is 0.53 line weight or line height by default. Which feels silly. I don't know why it's like that. What did I like? 0.8? 0.9. Yeah, I like 0.9. I think that looks good. And I think actually on this note box, I might want the inset. Which value are you? Maybe not that much, but a little more than it is at the moment. Go with 20, maybe. Let's say 25. That looks pretty good to me. Da da da. Getting notifications all over the place. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I like this container. I think it's a really cute container for anything that looks like it should be like a note on parchment, essentially. Like someone has written on these words, and this is like a note for you to look at. I don't know. I'd love to have like several different types of containers that look like different types of parchment, so that maybe so that we can have entries in this, what's going to essentially be like an encyclopedia world. So it looks like in these articles that we have in entries here, like these will look like little notes, little cards that we as the lore keepers have just kind of put in here as like our little side notes. So while the article contents will be like fully like objective, like, you know, this is what this is what the thing is that is being written about, the little note containers will be our like our real world thoughts about what we are doing. Yeah, and I don't know, like I'm getting so ahead of myself on this. Like I'm even thinking like, oh, what if we had a different type of container for the different members? But that would require like minimum 30 different containers. 30 different container styles, which I feel like people have done crazier things on this website. I'm gonna be honest with you. But I don't know if I'm ready for that commitment right now. What if we had like at least a couple just for some variety? That'd be really fun. And if I was able to get them kind of like a different texture, like paper, that would at least like set them apart a little bit, make them look more like what they're supposed to be. And yeah. I don't know, because if multiple people have little notes that they want to add to different articles over time, I don't want them to all be on the exact same style of container, you know? Because then, like, it'll just get too clogged up with one container type, and that's a little eh. Much to consider, much to think about. But for now, I will be content with one. And so look at us go. We have our little allowed container, which mimics the sidebar. And we have these little notes here. And so we will see. We'll see what we can do. And I'm just gonna cut these for now, just to see what this looks like without. And so this is what the base box contain code is going to look like. Basically just text with an outline. And then specifically box contain note box will look like that. And I can get rid of the border radius and border values from this because they are being used in the base container that is the box contain code. I'm learning how containers go as I work, or like as I use WorldAnvil in general. There's just a lot. There's a lot to learn in the world of CSS and coding. Yeah, it's so much, but it's a lot of fun. Like I'm very pleased with what we've got going on right now. Yeah, so I can add to my little like to-do list of things to consider. Different container styles, different note styles, maybe a couple different handwriting fonts. Kind of like just give options to the people in the chapter of like how they want to customize their pages and all that kind of stuff. To start off, I think I'm going to be the sole editor of the actual world, but I'll probably open it up to active chapter members in the future. Kind of like just once I have the framework down. We'll just keep things organized like as I'm in the building stage. I was like, I'm still trying to figure out how this is all gonna work, but I'm very excited to see where things go. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just, like, I'm coming into a lot of things on, like, the logistical side of, like, you know, running the chapter. I have to, like, our chapter is practically at capacity on members right now, but more than half of those members haven't, you know, been active in a very long time. So I'm kind of just in this, I'm in this boat now where I have to go reach out to people and be like, hey, So you've been in this chapter for a while, but I notice you haven't been around for 2 years or longer. And I basically just have to go reach out to everyone and see, like, hey, are you still interested in being here? Or can I open up your slot to someone else? Reaching out to people, yeah, that's a tough one. Um, yeah, but like this chapter, like I'm inheriting this chapter as leader that's been around for several years. Um, in fact, like I think it was one of the like I don't know if this is correct, but I think it was one of the chapters that came to be like when chapters were introduced to being a thing. So we have a lot of members who joined in 2019, like the beginning of 2019. Um, but they just simply haven't been around or active in like several years at this point. You know, because like you start the chapter, they were active for maybe like the first year or two, and then people start falling off. And that's a pretty normal thing. But kind of with the state of what chapters in WorldAnvil were for a long time, like a lot of people just weren't active. They weren't interested in, you know, like being in the chapter because chapters weren't really doing much. Um, they really were just kind of like, you know, a separate little chat room. And as people kind of like filter in and out, some people get less active on WorldAnvil completely, and so they stop chatting, and then so as the group stops chatting, everyone stops chatting, and everyone stops coming around, and then people just kind of disappear. They forget about this little corner of the internet that they shared. But yeah, so now that we're trying to revive the chapters, I'm kind of leading the charge on getting 7 tomes more active and getting new faces in there. Um, but again, since things like chapter's basically full right now of faces that aren't really around, I have to do some, you know, spring cleaning, essentially, that it is, before I can start really inviting a ton of other people. And so yeah, that's kind of like the state of things in the chapter. Um, but yeah, it's pretty good. I'm so thrilled actually to see that there are now people, you know, chatting pretty actively in our channel. It has been a very long time. Like the chapter wasn't even super active when I joined it. Um but yeah, you know, people would kind of filter in every once in a while and be like, "Hey everybody, how are we doing? What have we been working on recently?" And like one or two people would respond and then it would go back to being silent again. And so I'm hoping that we can get ourselves to a state where, you know, people are like, you know, not the same people every single day, but maybe there's at least someone posting something new in there every day, you know, sharing what they're working on, asking for feedback, giving feedback. And once, especially when summer camp starts up again very soon, summer camp prep month is coming up very soon, like next week. Ooh, very exciting. Um, yeah, I cannot tell you guys how hype I am for summer camp. It is my favorite event of every single year on WorldAnvil. And just in general, like I get so much writing done every year during summer camp. It's so exciting. I I just love being there. I love being a part of it, and I'm hoping that I can get some of that. I can like add some of that hype to the chapter, and so that our little chapter members can go there. Ooh, I'm planning on participating in summer camp. This is the first time I plan on doing this. Heck yeah! Welcome to the summer camp crew. Very fun, very exciting. Yeah. So yeah, I know there's so much hype in the community that builds up around summer camp and World Ember. And I get extremely hype about both, but no doubt for me, summer camp like takes the cake. I love summer camp so much. It's like I think the prompts speak to me a lot more than just like the wide open world of write 10,000 words. Cuz I'll get into it and I'll be like, "Okay, cool." And I make like one really awesome article that's like 1,000 words or more. I'll be like, "Okay, great. I'm off to a great start." And then I make my second article. It's like a couple hundred words maybe. I'm like, "All right, let's keep going." And then like I just I just peter out so quickly. But then with the prompts, it's so easy. Like it tells you like write a thing about something like this. I'm like, okay, I can do that. And then I write my 300 words and I'm like, all right, what's next? What can we do next? Drunken Panda, welcome back! Oh yeah, hooray! New summer campers! Summer camp is fantastic. This year summer camp is going to be my 5th one, which is pretty crazy. Um, to think I've been around for 5 of these events now, or well, I mean technically 4, going on 5. But yeah, I'm starting to feel like a little bit of a veteran at this point. I couldn't claim the veteran title last year because I missed the first summer camp ever because I joined WorldAnvil like a couple days after the first one ended, and like, you know, the fact that that event happened like generated some hype on the internet outside of the community and got me to notice that that was a thing. And so I was like, oh, this WorldAnvil thing seems really cool. I'll go check it out. And so 5 years later, here we are. um, but yeah, I found out about WorldAnvil because summer camp happened and people were talking about it. Like, oh, this they just did this event and it was really cool, and you know, do all your world building and stuff. I think I found out about the platform through like the Great GM, like how to be a great GM, that channel. And yeah, so I followed a lot of great world building YouTubers at that time. And then I feel like a bunch of them kind of stopped doing that content, maybe. Um, I know Artifexian is still doing some great content. I think the Great GM is also continuing to do a lot of great things. But everyone else that I used to watch, I just can't remember. I feel like I just haven't seen content from them in a long time. That's unfortunate. Anyway, thank you. Thank you everyone for hanging out and joining. Thank you to sorry, my words just like left my brain as soon as I started talking. And that's on ADHD for everybody. Yeah, thank you all the chatters, Toy Poi, Obi Shaker, Drunken Panda, everybody who's tuned in today. It is past 9 p.m. and I really must get going because I still have work to do before bedtime today. And yeah, so to anyone who's interested in hanging out, to get all my updates and all that kind of stuff, I do have a Discord server and you are more than welcome to join. Come hang out. It is, as I say, the best place to get my updates as, like, you know, as a streamer, as an artist, as everything that I do, essentially, just kind of goes in there. You can choose the things that you are pinged for. I try to avoid the everyone pings at all costs. They basically only come up when I have, like, big updates, really exciting things to share. And so yeah, if you're worried about just Discord servers pinging you to all hell, then you don't really have to worry about that too much with me. You choose what you're pinged for. You want to be pinged for streams? You can be pinged for streams, for arts, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm very pleased with the progress that we have made today. My lovely little page here. Let's just let me see if I can get this over. Bum ba bum. I'm gonna put the page on my like bigger screen real quick so we can show it off a little. So yeah, we started off with like all the default buttons and colors and things, and now we have a much more cohesive set of everything, which is great. All the buttons are the same, which makes me really happy. We got, you know, the little 7 tomes go back to world page button. And we have these 2 containers. Again, my little allowed container that mimics the sidebar in style, and this little note page container, which I'm very excited about. I'm gonna have to make like several more. At least a few. I'd love to have a bunch. It's like if you had a bunch of different color sticky notes in a book. That's kind of like the vibe that I want to have, except they'd be like little pieces of parchment. And I kind of want to see if I can get like, you know, like the frayed edges of parchment like around the sides, but I would need to ask a CSS wizard how the best way to do that would be. Because I don't know that kind of magic yet. But yeah, I'm very excited to start building this page. I didn't really do any of the actual like content page building But yeah, so I have this little note here that says this page is a work in progress, will act as a template for future member pages. I'll be updating this throughout the next weeks. The tentative S in there. And so yeah, my plan is to have individual pages for each member, for each active member of the chapter. And so we're gonna have like little sections of like, you know, we'll have like an introduction to start, of course, and then like a section for the worlds. I only have one world that I'm working on, so of course it was just like world, and I'll have like an article block for Malcora and that kind of stuff. It'll be real nice, and especially for our chapter members who have like more than one world. I just want a place to kind of showcase all of that and also have a very easy way for chapter members to look at each other's work. And also for people visiting our chapter to also view our chapter members' work. Because I know things in Discord get lost so easily. I just want to have like a nice stable homepage where everything is just really easy to update and keep track of. And you're certainly not going to lose article pages if they are, you know, well categorized at least. So yeah, we just go back to the home page. Here we are. We have our 7 tomes and our chapter index. And of course, chapter index is going to be where all the members and the rules and all that kind of stuff is going to be. And so we got members, and there's a little page for me that is in progress. And yeah, once I figure out how I want the page for myself to look like, we're just going to use it as like a template for everyone else, and I'm going to try to get everyone in there as quickly as possible. And that's going to be part of me like reaching out to everybody to just kind of like, you know, get on the same page. Like, you know, are you still interested in being in the chapter? Does this kind of project seem interesting to you? And if all the answers to those questions are yes, I will be making them pages in the little chapter codex. And so yeah, it's very exciting. Gosh, I said I was leaving like 7 minutes ago. Yeah. That's still like 30 people. That's a lot of work. Yeah, I do know that it is a lot of work, and that is why I'm trying to make like a template so that it's really easy to just kind of like not copy paste, but like fill in information in like a very quick and concise way and make it just really easy to organize. I am more than willing to put in like a butt ton of work to make this work. Because I mean, you will find that once I get into a project that I really like, I get like really into it. And so I want to put in as much as I can, and I will pour so much of myself into these projects because I like being there. I like doing it. So yeah, this was good. I feel like I got a lot done. So thanks everyone for stopping by. I would love to send all of you over to a friend at the end of the stream. To Grinning Hazard, who is playing Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This is my friend who has just achieved partner on Twitch. Very exciting. But just because the partner pushes over does not mean that we stop supporting. And so, once again, everyone, thank you so much for coming and hanging out while I just did some work. I look forward to my next stream on... Gosh. My next stream is actually going to be a week from today. Same time, same place. Because this weekend I will not be home. I will not be able to stream during this weekend. But yeah, Tuesday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be back with... What day is that gonna be? Tuesday, the 30th. I don't know. More than likely, it is going to be more, you know, more WorldAnvil stuff. Probably gonna be continuing to work on some of this stuff, actually. And so, that is what you can expect from me again, a week from today. Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And yeah, until then, everyone, we will begin this raid. Everyone, stay happy, stay healthy, stay creative, and of course, stay hydrated. Have your little sippies. And have the most wonderful of wonderful days. I will see you guys later, everyone.